Hello and welcome back to live coverage of the 2026 Orienteering World Cup here in Skara in Sweden. We've already had the two individual races in the knockout sprint and the individual sprint, but it's time now for the team competition, the sprint relay, where teams of four will go around the streets here in Skara and try and get all the right route choices, get all the right controls, and take the victory here in the World Cup. Teams of four, we will start and end with the women's legs, with two men running the middle two legs. And of course, some of the teams will have selected their results, their teams based on some of the selection races run in their home countries. Some will have waited until results from the last few individual races here in this similar terrain before deciding their team. And there's multiple teams per nation as well. We've got 58 teams on the start list today, meaning it's going to be fast and furious. Only the top finishing team per nation will actually count, though, when it comes to the kind of final result system. But we've got all of the big names, of course, featuring and expected to do well and very fast running around these streets. It is the same location as yesterday's time trial sprints, so many of these buildings, these locations will be familiar. It's going to test the same kind of orienteering, lots of route choice, lots of running on kind of grassy sections in between the trees as well, and having to make quick route choices under that time pressure as well. There's lots of forked or gaffled controls here, so the different teams will be going in different directions, and then finally, once you get all four runners around their courses, they'll have done all four different options. So as you can see there, for the women, they've got 3.7 kilometers, 4.3 a little bit further than for the men, and the estimated winning time on each leg is around about 14 minutes. So I think we will manage to get quite close to that one. Here is the course map then. We'll start in the arena as usual, where the changeover zone is, and then out into the terrain. Jonas, do you want to pick it up from here?
Yeah, as you mentioned it before, it's the same competition area, same competition center as yesterday. A bit special today because we start with the forking, which is forked over with four different controls. A bit special, usually we have only two different options. At control 4, it's splitting up. We have the men's course going to the northwest for an extra loop, and the women's course taking a shortcut from 4 to 5. Both of the courses, the men's and the women's course, they have a long leg then from 4 to 5 or 10 to 11. Route choices there, quite straightforward. Keep close to the red line in order to avoid extra meters. Then at control 15, I think at 14 there's a map flip, and then we have an arena passage, and the second part of the course, a change in characteristics. It's more of this city orienteering in the old town. And forkings just after the arena passage. Then you can see another forking there down in the lower left corner. This one is only for leg 2 and 3, so the women won't have this forking option there at around control 20. From there, it's going back to the arena. You said it before, it's quite a lot of difference when it comes to the number of controls, because we have this loop with many controls for the men. This is the long leg, 4-5 in the women's course. It's quite similar in the men's course as well, 10-11, not exactly the same one, but it's about the same how you should decide the route choice, which option you should take, keep close. There is also you can also go from one route to the other, different options on the red one and the blue one, but also here the blue one should be the shortest then. This is a section where you can run really, really quick there on the longer route. I expect it to be quite tough for a couple of teams, and then you get back towards the old town. It will be a bit tricky to adapt. I mean, as tricky as it can get in sprint orienteering. Here we have just before the arena passage, just to get a glimpse of how it can look like. in the city. You can see it, we mentioned that yesterday as well. It's not really the classic city center as you would expect it. It looks a bit like a village, and then suddenly you have this big church here, and it's more like a classic old town. And many of the areas very familiar from yesterday. It's I mean, the first part is where they had the long leg back to the arena passage yesterday in the sprint, and then the second part was also the last part yesterday in the sprint competition. This is 15 to 16. You can see that's very typical for today's race. You have two options, but yeah, they are very, very similar. It doesn't really matter. You can kind of try to split the groups, but in the end, it won't really matter if you go to the left or to the right. And one thing you can see as well, again, they were working a lot with artificial barriers. You have to be careful for that. Yeah, it's basic. I mean, we can talk about the technique and if it's familiar for the runners, and they have kind of experienced the idea of the course planners now for 2 days. I would say it's nothing very different today. It's very similar to what we have seen in the knockout sprint and the individual sprint yesterday.
Yeah, very classic kind of planning. Lots of barriers, as you said, lots of route choice and some tricky controls as well. Here, as we have all the athletes, 58 athletes lining up on the start line, they're introduced into the arena. We can take a look at the start list. And number one there, Norway, surely our favourites for today's race.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they have the winner from the knockout sprint in the men's class and from the individual sprint in the men's class as well. Then they have Pia Youngvik on the last leg. Even though she wasn't top 3 in any of the races, very strong performances, and on the first leg, quite experienced Victoria Hestad Björnstad. I would say for me, they are the clear favorites. But still, I mean, there's so many teams, and usually it's not the most difficult orienteering, kind of sprint orienteering, sprint relay. So the teams, they're a bit closer as well. I think it can be tight, but if you ask me for a favorite, it's definitely Norway.
Yeah, well, we just seen there Victoria Hestad Bjornstad, Sanna Fast, third place in the sprint, so she will set it off for Sweden. Switzerland, Natalia Gempela, again, super experienced on that first leg as well. They've got the winner from yesterday, Simone Abersold, on the last leg. Vera Klemetinen will lead out the Finns. They've changed their team up compared to the last round of the World Cup. I really like the look of that Finnish team. Mel Bovia will start for France. Don't forget they've got the third place from yesterday, Mathieu Baravaye on third leg, and Teresa Roturier is going to lead out the team from Czechia. I was going to say, I'm hoping we're going to get a look at this Danish team as well, because Hedvig Balbjørn Goodison, the winner of the knockout, is leading out the team for Denmark, and she did a great job in Switzerland as well just a few weeks ago at the first round of the World Cup, so watch out for her on first leg as well. The Danish men are a little bit weaker in the team, so we'll have to see how they are able to do, see if they can get amongst the top teams. So counting down now, lots of athletes very close together. They've all got their maps in their hands as we begin to start this sprint relay. There they go. All the teams off out into the arena. They've got a short run towards the start triangle, and then we will get out towards the first control, and there are 4 different options. So these runners should split into 4 different groups, and it's quite an interesting route choice as well on this section. If you could very easily follow the wrong pack and end up taking the wrong route choice to your control. So this could be quite decisive here at this first point of the race, and as we progress through on all of the other legs as well. But as you can see, super high speed by these runners there. We can see maybe Teresa Roturier there for Czechia, just leading the way, just cutting off Sanna Fast in that first section. And there they go out towards the first control, they kind of double back and go towards the left, and then they've got the second control is in this kind of park area. So all of this group here, we've got Czechia, we've got, I think, New Zealand, we've got Denmark in there as well. They're kind of split up and all come together. And the course setters actually said if executed properly, all of these different options should be no more than 10 meters difference, which is not easy to do when you're setting a course.
Yeah, but I mean, if you, because I was thinking about that as well. If you split, or if you put a forking and you have it both shared over women's and men's legs, they have to be very similar, because otherwise it's a risk that it gets unfair when you have a longer option than for the women compared to the men on your leg. So you have to be careful when you do that. I think that's also the reason why you don't see it that often. And this kind of terrain is very well suited for things like this, because it's very open in the beginning.
So they're all coming together now. There's a common control just under that tree where they're all disappearing. That's the control number 3, and you can see a great shot of them all just coming together. It does look like we have one runner out in the front. Is it a Swedish kit? It is a Swedish kit, and that is Sanna Fast from Sweden. And it's so interesting because the Swedes have changed around their team order. So the 2 women on the have swapped from first to fourth and the other way around, and obviously maybe they want to put Sanna Fast on first leg to try and push the pace, try and get a little bit of a gap on the first leg, which is a tactic that Sweden has employed a lot in the past. But loads and loads of athletes coming through. Had Sweden-Poland right up there with Alexandra Hornick on first leg. Spain was up there with Ana Isabel Toledo. All pretty much the top teams, Switzerland in there, Norway in there. All of the teams that we would expect to be up there are in contention still. Behind the leader now, this is Sanna Fast crossing over, I think now on the longer leg, and we can follow behind her on the running camera, making this look incredibly easy. So this gives you a sense of some of the barriers in place, as you have Czechia, Poland, Denmark, a couple of Danish teams, 2 Finnish teams there as well, chasing here on their way, and pretty much kind of this group splitting up into 2 then on this long leg. Actually, Norway deciding to go a bit of a different way, and we'll see them now crossing. This is crossing the field on the way to the women's 5th control. Here comes the leader.
And you mentioned it, Norway on a slightly different option. I think she's losing a couple of seconds there. It'll be very important for Victoria Hestad Bjørnstad to get closer again.
Yeah, let's see if we can see her coming through. We're watching out for Norway on this picture. Is that her there? I think it is. I think,
yeah.
Oh no, that's Mel Beauvais.
Yeah.
Good, there is somebody there to help. That looks like, unfortunately, Mel Beauvais from France won. Hope that she's okay and going to get some help. It's one of the reasons why we have people out on the course. No, I think, yeah, there we go. Collision with the German. Falling back. Hope she's going to be okay. Okay, the team's now on their way to the 6th and 7th controls in around this schoolyard.
Is it Denmark now in the leads? Oh, there's the Swedish team in front as well. But I think it's Denmark in second.
Oh, yeah, but she's kind of stopped.
Hesitating. Yeah, many of the teams hesitating.
So she turns back. Oh, she's still going. Great work from Mel Beauvais. really wanting to get the baton round, as it were, to keep her team in the race. Glad to see she's up and moving.
And you have quite many different options here on this route choice. We can see it. I think Denmark first followed Sweden, then changed their mind and went the other way. You can see again quite many barriers in this area in order to make the route choices a bit more complicated.
But actually, Denmark, I think they're on the shortest route, if I remember the kind of graphic from earlier when we presented the course.
But I think the hesitation.
And obviously,
made
she's lost a little bit of time. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the time that you win back from the good route choice, you've lost from hesitating and making the route choice.
Yeah,
it's always such a balance to be struck.
And we're talking about really small margins here. It's only a difference of 2 or 3 seconds. And of course, if you hesitate and then also you've been running in one direction for a couple of meters and then go back again, you lose it. Yeah, another 2 or 3 seconds.
But it's still about the same distance or something. Yeah, exactly. So 5 seconds behind. We have Denmark and Poland, and now lots more athletes. Finland 3, Ida Happelo, a great start for her, right up there in amongst the others. We've got Czechia still up there, Finland, Switzerland are still there. Norway 13, 14 seconds behind. Just keep an eye on that. Victoria Heistad-Bjornstad. And more of the athletes coming through now, so they will run past the church and then out to the second loop, and everything changes characteristics again in front of the very gravelly church. Not fun to run through at all. Feel like it's almost like running through sand. And then, as you can see, they get funneled out of the arena for the orienteering to start yet again, and they have got a forking here at the next controls. So as you can see, a lot of the athletes will have been through this section on their way into the arena after the individual. As you can see there, look.
Yeah, France lost about a minute almost at this incident. I mean, she was a bit behind, so let's say she lost about 40 seconds, 35 maybe, Maëlle Bouvir.
So it's really hard to see exactly where people are going, but as you can see, Denmark, Sweden up amongst the leading runners, as you might expect. And then obviously we go towards the next control. Here is the lead. Oh no, Vat Sanafas is not in the lead anymore. We've got Denmark in the lead, then Caroline Olsen for Sweden's second team, then Sanafas for Sweden's first team, so losing a few places in that forked control there. But it is Denmark in the lead on the sprint relay. Not sure we've said that since at least 2018. Actually, we said that a couple of weeks ago, because Hedvig Robin Goodison was first leg as well there, and splitting up again here on their way to the bottom left corner. Yes, as you can see, mistake from Caroline Olsen. She comes back. And actually this group, there's only a small group of these athletes here. They've taken a completely different route choice to everybody else. As you can see them coming in from the left here. I think they might, well, actually no, it's hard to tell because obviously Caroline Olsen made that mistake. So it's hard to know whether the other group took the better route choice. There's Norway on the left with Victoria Heistad-Bjornstad. Norway, we think, are the favourites for this race. But here are the leaders coming back through at the moment. Grace Molloy up into third place there. This is Ida Happelo, I think, for Finland. Finland 3. And into the control there. Control. And it's quite chaotic with all of these runners going in different directions. But they don't have a forking here. This is Vera Klemetinen of Finland 1. Okay, let's catch up at the next control then. They'll come from the far side. I can hear the whistles as the volunteers announce the arrival, making sure everyone clears out the way, and it's still Denmark in the lead. Then it looks like Great Britain with Grace Molloy on the first leg. And then we've got Sweden with Sanna Fast, Ida Happala from Finland, Caroline Olsen from Sweden too. Victoria Hestad-Bjornstad moved up a few more places again. Great work from her. Got Sara Delic, one of the very young Croatians, doing a great job here on first leg. Vera Klemetinen from Finland won in 12th position. There's the Netherlands and New Zealand in this group as well. And Florence Anaue for France too. Now a little bit of a gap, so 20 teams all come through quite close together, and now a bit of a gap back to Ana Isabel Toledo of Spain. And I don't think, Jonas, we've lost really any of our big favourites here. All of our teams in top contention.
Yeah, France dropped a bit behind. Yeah. But otherwise, we still have the teams. They've been splitting up now to the 21st control. It's a common control, but they are on different routes. And I think it's Sweden again in the lead. You can see it here.
And this was this control 16 to 17, where there's equal routes, basically, left or right to control 17. It is exactly the same distance, 221 meters. Isa von Krusenfeiner there waiting to go out. And there are the second leg, waiting to see what's going to happen. They've been held in quarantine, so they don't know what is going on. So Sweden doing their own thing, going out on the left, everybody else going right, and behind Grace Molloy now, who's just behind Denmark. And have they nipped in ahead of Sweden here? It's hard to see where we've got Sanna Fast. I think she's not ahead, so it looks like it's going to be Denmark, then Great Britain. It is, and we have Finland. Finland 3, then next. Then Sweden 2. Where's Sweden 1 and Sanna Fast? She's just there. She's lost time on that route choice. She did, yeah. You're right, she did a mistake. Not just a bad route choice, she did actually do a mistake, but it is Denmark. And we are now used to seeing this runner, Hedvig Valbjørn Gunnarsson, do a fantastic job. Look at the distance she's pulled out here on the other runners. Niels Dalgaard to go next. So Great Britain going to hand over in second place. Great work from Grace Molloy there. Sweden 2, Finland 3, as I mentioned. Then we've got Poland. Great work from Alexandra Hornick. Czechia, Sweden 1, still in contention, 14, 15 seconds down. Great work as well for Denmark 2. And to watch out for the young delegates wins in future years. Croatia coming in 9th place. Fantastic work. And we've got more runners coming in now. This is Finland 1. Vera Klemetinen, as you can see, coming in next, just behind Sweden. Here's New Zealand and the Netherlands. Yves van Dongen running the men's leg. There's only 2 from the Netherlands here at this World Cup. So she is running the second leg. And now we have that bit of a gap now as we see more of the Norwegian, Italian teams coming into the finish as well. Oh, Lucas Liedem just making sure he got the actual touch there, just being certain on the changeover. Mila Key from Australia coming in then alongside Chloe Potter of Great Britain. And the rest of the teams, as you can see, going past the front of the church to begin their route.
And we saw that Sweden dropped a little bit behind. Sanna Fast did a... Yeah, I don't know if it really was a mistake in execution. I think it was more a really bad decision in the route choice. I think maybe time loss about 10, 15 seconds. Here is Maëlle Bouvier.
Great work from Maëlle Bouvier to finish off that, handing over to Adrien Delaine. 2 minutes down. And I'd written that France never been in the top 3. Was it going to be their day? And it's going to have to be one of their other teams, I think. 2 minutes is going to be too much to make back, even with the European champion on the third leg. gutting for them. So Denmark and Niels Dalgaard for Denmark in the lead at the moment, punching this control, and he had a 7-second lead at the start of the competition. Pete Malloy for Great Britain in second place, and this is Axel Granqvist for Sweden 2. For Sweden 1, already caught up a few places with Isak von Krusenfuerner. Watch out for Erik Langadal Breivik as well on the second leg for Norway 1, of course the winner of the knockouts a few days ago.
And it starts to be a quite significant gap to Finland. I would say maybe you were talking before about the favorite teams that dropped a bit behind. I would say Finland is the one that stands out the most, 45 seconds behind.
Yeah, Vera Klemetinen finished 34 seconds behind, so he's, you know, Ruohola has dropped another 10 seconds or so, just less than 10 seconds on the start of this second leg. So not quite maybe getting the team selection right on the first, with Ida Haapala coming in fourth, but she's in Finland's third team. So those are confirmation of the standings then at changeover number 1. Denmark in the lead, 8 seconds faster than Great Britain, with Sweden 2 in second place. And more fast and furious racing here as Sweden goes into the lead. This is Sweden 2 in the lead with Axel Granqvist, and everything changing here. This is a loop around this agricultural university. And this is a section we did not see on the women's race. Lots of controls, very, very close together. There is one forked control in this loop. And it's just a different style of sprint orienteering where you have these controls coming thick and fast. You can't really plan ahead that much because you've got to be knowing exactly where you are and where you are going. And now then this long leg out onto the field.
And we mentioned that before when we had the course preview. It's quite a similar leg as we had in the women's, on the women's course. First leg, stay as close as possible to the red line. There's a passage a bit south of it where you can go. I think they're all heading towards this one. In the end, I mean, it doesn't really matter for those teams what kind of route choice to take as long as they keep together.
Yeah, and in the end, they are all sticking together as you would expect, I think, still at this point of the race. Now they will take a right and go next to the olive green out of bounds area. For meeting up again at the 11th control, which is, I think we do have we'll get a time check there for the athletes. So it was Denmark leading at the last TV control. Does look like he has been caught now. Yep, and it is Isak von Krusenfuerner for Sweden 1 in the lead at the moment. And it is Jakob Glonek, who's done a fantastic job as well for Czechia, getting right back in there. In fact, Denmark 2 up there now. Great Britain in 4th, Switzerland, Norway still just about 10 seconds behind.
Yeah,
Finland 3, that is.
For Denmark, it's very important now to not let that gap grow, because they have one of the strongest runners then on the last leg. If they can keep in touch on leg 2 and 3, they have a really good chance to end up in, let's say, top 5, top 3 maybe.
So that's Finland 1 just going through there. Akseli Ruohola caught up. Actually 10 seconds on the leaders on that last section between the two time checks. Don't know whether he took a different route choice through to control 11. It is possible. And actually, when you're going to 12, you should approach both of these controls from the east, from kind of the northeast, so exactly as Norway has done. So great running there from Erik Langedal Breivik. So they're punching this control and going back out towards the north. This is a good route choice then to the next control. This is the route that Denmark, Hedvig Valbom Gideson, took on the first leg. Although her hesitation meant she probably didn't get the full benefit of that shorter route choice.
And the course planners, they said that this passage just before the artificial barrier is very, very narrow. I think he mentioned it's about 60 centimeters wide only, where they approach now.
And this, where Sweden's coming, it is fine. There is a black line across the underpass, but actually it is open. We've got a bit of an old map up here on the GPS, so they haven't just crossed an uncrossable boundary. It is all fine at the moment. And Sweden and Czechia seem to be pulling away here. Great work from Isak von Krusenfuerne and from Jakob Blonek. And here they come then through the arena passage. Two leading teams at the moment, Sweden and Czechia, von Krusenfuerne and Glonek. And we've got, you can follow them through, reading their routes towards the next stage. Pete Malloy still has Great Britain in third place. Denmark 2 still in fourth. Denmark with Niels Dalgaard just dropping behind a little bit. But Breivik and Suter again about 10, 11 seconds behind the leaders. So they're not being able to catch any time on Isak von Krusenfuerne of Sweden at the moment. Got Poland in just outside the top 10. This is Finland 3. So Francesca Mariani of Italy coming through there. We've also got Florian Attinger of Switzerland and Martin Hubmann as well. Okay, let's check back in with the leading teams. They've done this forking and it looks like Czechia are ahead here.
Again, we had a bit of changes in positioning. In this forking, I get the feeling that they might not be very, very equal, that one of the options is slightly quicker.
Yeah, so one of the team will get the advantage on this leg and then they'll get the advantage later on in the race. On the other legs, as you can see, here's the gap now, but Isak von Krusenfuerne working hard to get back in touch with Jakob Blonek. Norway here moved up into third place.
It looks like Denmark and Switzerland, a small mistake now, or not the perfect route at least.
Yeah, the route that Czechia, Sweden, Denmark too, as you can see there, going through, it's yeah, that's been a good route for them. Then actually different routes here.
But it's not the right map, is it? Because we have a forking there on the in the men's course. So I think this is the women's option shown here. They have a control where Denmark is approaching now, and then they go into this section. And there's a fork in two different controls, one where Great Britain is punching and one where Czechia is heading towards now.
Yep, good spot. So we have that extra forking in for the men, but not for the women. So it's just going to mix everything up again. We'll get the next time check at control number 20. can see the athletes running past these apartments, and some of them on their way to Control 20, which is on this tree. Here they come. Here's von Krusenfuerne and Glonek. Ignore Hubman at the top because he's still got that loop to go. Breivik and Malloy in 4th and 5th then. This is Axel Granqvist for Sweden 2 in 6th place. And where is Denmark?
Lost a lot of time in this forking and on the route choice before.
Yeah, definitely keep an eye on them because Finland's just there into 8th place. There is Denmark, 35 seconds down alongside Timo Suter, and Switzerland has lost a lot of time here just in this section. And I think that's, as you mentioned it, that route choice from 17 to 18 going northwest of the line, some of that and maybe some route choice errors as well. Sorry, some forking errors as well, possibly. But anyway, back here at control, so it's 2021 for the men. Iso von Krusenfuerne still in the lead for Sweden. There's Czechia and Denmark. This is Denmark 2. In 3rd place currently. Great work from Elias Hinger Krossgaard from Denmark 2. They've not got a bad rest of their team as well. Norway, as we see, Erik Langedal Breivik climbed up there. Great Britain still in that leading group. There's lots of sibling teams in this races. Denmark 2 is a sibling team with Linus and Ida Agger Christensen, Pete and Grace Malloy on the British team, and we've got the Abersold still to come for Switzerland. But here is Sweden 1 with the lead at the moment. Great work there from Isak von Krusenfuerne. Going to hand over to Jonathan Gustafsson with a very strong performance from the Swedish men on the home soil so far. Can it be continued with Jonathan Gustafsson, who starts there just now? Here is Denmark 2. Cracking job there from the Danish team. There's Czechia just now, and Norway and Great Britain heading out. So 5 teams within 7 seconds, and then another 10-second gap back to Sweden 2, and Axel Granqvist heading out. His next leg runner, this is Finland and Finland 3. Again here, Heinonen coming into the changeover. And look at some of our favourites, because Switzerland are just coming through now. And Switzerland 36 seconds behind. Fabian Abersold will go out next and see if he can keep his cool there. Here's Denmark 1 coming into the finish as well, alongside another of the Norwegian and the French teams. So Denmark lost another 10 seconds or so on that last loop, 48 seconds behind. And now a few more teams coming in here. Mariani from Italy, we've got New Zealand, we've got Australia as well. They always have a Southern Hemisphere battle out on the sprint relays. All of these teams about a minute and a quarter down, and lots exciting that it's still really, really close in amongst all of these teams. Joey had on there a surprise for me, him running in Switzerland 4, although actually he has been coming back from injury, and the Swiss team always select before the competition. There's Norway to come through as well. So Sweden 1 in the lead, with some of our favourites still up there. Norway just 6 seconds back. Switzerland 36 seconds back. That's a surprise. And Finland 1. I'm still not sure that we've had Finland 1 do the changeover. Oh, we have had Finland 1 do the changeover. They were 41 seconds down. As we head past the halfway mark. Those are the standings after leg 2.
Yeah, and I mean, development, Switzerland dropped behind quite significantly, 36 seconds. Finland's quite far behind. It's going to be difficult for those teams to get up again into the fight. Usually very, very tight amongst the men, and we see it here with Sifta, Gustafsson, Fosser, very strong athletes in the lead now.
There we have Team Oksinen for Finland 3, so the best Finnish team at the moment. But this is Thomas Heikkilä on Finland 1, trying to catch up a few places. He's already caught up one place. There's Abersold. Abersold having dropped a place, so Finland and Switzerland swapping around.
For Switzerland and Finland, it's good that they have each other there, a bit behind. They can try to work together. Well, you're not actively working together, but I mean, you get a bit of feedback when it comes to the speed. You know that the other runner is very good sprint orienteer, so you can be confident that your speed is good enough in order to maybe win back a couple of seconds.
Yeah, but here's Thomas Krifter in the lead at the moment. Only a few paces there ahead of these chasing runners. Kasper Fosser in amongst them. And going around this agricultural university section, Jonathan Gustafsson neck and neck with Kasper Fosser, as you can see, taking slightly different routes to that control. This very intense section of orienteering, these small gaps you've got to cut through these hedges. And high level of speed then between all of these runners. Got a couple of controls and they'll have this long leg as well. Running west to east at the same location as where they had the long leg in the individual sprint, but that was kind of north to south, so a slightly different challenge. And there we can see them with no longer Czechia in the lead. That looks like Gustafsson has gone into the lead for Sweden again. Is it? No, it's not. Is it Kasper Fosser? Yes, it's a Norwegian kid.
Yes, yeah.
So Kasper Fosser making a fast start to today's race. Taking a different route, as you can see.
It's interesting. We have Czechia and Norway on this route, very straight, almost on the red line. Then we have Sweden, Denmark, second team, Great Britain. They were heading a bit more to the north, the route that we have seen on the second leg. Here we can see it.
Yeah, and obviously seeing them split up a lot more here, and it's going to be interesting to see whether that's actually going to make much of a difference by the time they get to the next control. Here they come. From slightly different directions. Yeah, advantage Czechia here. Great job there from Thomas Krifter on the route choice here. Gets himself back ahead of Norway. Where is Sweden?
It's going to be interesting as well to see how the gap back to Finland and Switzerland is developing. It's about 36 and 39 seconds before.
So top three through, then a bit of a gap. This is Denmark 2 and Great Britain. Simon Harden on the third leg for Great Britain. He's grown up in Sweden. He's got a British dad, so running for Great Britain. And now a lot of these runners taking this northern route. Not the shortest.
Yeah, and
but I think it makes sense when you're in a big pack that it works.
Switzerland losing contact to Finland. 10 seconds behind Heikkilä now, Fabian Abersold.
I mean, from that drone shot, that looks like very good hurdling technique from Kasper Fosser there, taking these kind of jumps on the playground. Jumping the low fences. Someone needs to get him running a steeplechase on a track. And coming into 13 now, so It would be interesting to see the route choice that these athletes go. It looks good for the shortest route choice at the moment.
And now interesting as well. I mean, the teams behind, they probably can't really see the top teams when they exit control 13. This is this very narrow passage we were talking about before.
Yeah, squeezing between the buildings. But no problems here for these two leading the way, Norway and Czechia. Czechia still leading the way. Two incredibly strong sprint orienteers battling it out together, and it's no surprise for me that none of them are getting caught here. Here is the arena passage then. And Thomas Krivda has a sneaky look behind to see if anybody is there, but these two have a decent gap here, and it is only growing then. Fosse and Krivda on the third leg of 4 on this sprint relay have a significant gap, and it's only growing and growing here because nobody else is through yet. And where is Sweden? What has gone wrong here? Because suddenly we've got Finland has come through, and Heikkilä, fantastic job from Heikkilä here, who has catapulted Finland 1 back into a medal position. And what has happened to Jonathan Gustafsson? Because he is way back. This is Runeforce here, so Abersold then in 8th place. You can see Switzerland just punching there. And what has happened to Sweden?
He punched at 7, left the control, and then turned back after like 30 seconds again to the control, to control 7. Don't know.
So did he think he didn't punch it? Like it didn't register?
But he was there. Well, that's hard to see on the GPS, but it looks like this, if you look at the GPS. He is at the control, he punches it, then he's halfway to control 8, then he turns again, goes back to 7, and punches it again.
Well, let's see if we can get a replay, because that will be very, very interesting to show you on our screens as well, because Sweden were right up there, and now suddenly way, way down the results. And they're going to find it hard to work back into a medal position now.
Yeah, he lost about a minute.
Yeah. That is huge in terms of sprint relays. But focus again on the leading runners in the race, and splitting up here. See, there is a forking then in and around some of these controls here. So 2 different options. It's not quite as what you see on the picture there. They have got 2 different options.
Yeah, and it's the teams behind them are going to lose a bit of time compared to Norway and Czechia. It's not, the route choice is not as good. Abersold was on the way to do a good route there, but now changing it towards the slower one. France, second team, is executing it well.
Same with Sweden
as well.
Might catch up a little bit of time. So just a reminder, the controls on your map in front of you aren't quite right. They have an extra control on the tree just where Great Britain is now. And then forking to come. So it looks like Norway's maybe got a little bit ahead here.
And it was Krivda punching, but I think we missed Fosse.
I was going to say we just missed them. Fosse is too quick for our pictures. But let's see we should have our next runners coming through fairly shortly.
And it's interesting, you said it before, Thomas Heikkilä doing a great job. He's actually the only one not losing time. I think he went out about 36 seconds behind. He still is 36 seconds behind. All the others drop time.
Here he comes into third place. So he's dropped a little bit of time, a few seconds here, but he has pulled up loads of places. Really, really strong work. This is Sweden 2. Denmark 2 still in the mix, and Great Britain there in fifth, 6th. This is Finland 3, Timo Oksanen. Switzerland, exactly, about a minute down. But back with the leaders here is Kasper Fosse. Norway are favourites for today's race and going to form at the moment, although not completely plain sailing, with them being a little bit down after the first leg. But Pia Young-Vik and Teresa Raturi, oh hang on, it's not Teresa Raturi because she went out on the first leg. It's going to be the first-year senior, Lucy Dietrichkova, coming in to her first ever senior sprint relay in the first team. And she's going to be facing the European champion in Pia Young-Vik on this last leg. What an opportunity for the young Czech athlete as well. As we have the changeover approaching now between legs 3 and 4 of this sprint relay. Kasper Fosse and Thomas Skrivda, absolutely spectacular running from both of them to pull out a gap of over 30 seconds to the rest of the field. You can see both of them working incredibly hard. They have done a fantastic job for their teams. And Pia Young-Vik and Lucy Dietrichkova both going out now for the fourth and final leg. And keep an eye on the gap here because it's been a really, really fantastic one. A big shout out to this man, Thomas Skrivda, done a really good job for Finland on this leg. Will he have dropped any time on the overall leg? He may well not have done at all. So this is going to be very decisive for Finland here, this leg. And Maija Sienoja on the last leg for Finland. 41 seconds down, but with a gap here.
Interesting.
And now we have the rest coming through.
Yeah, sending out Simona Abersold, probably the strongest runner on this last leg. But about a minute behind, a little bit more even.
Yeah, Great Britain crossing the line in fourth. They're a minute down. Cecilia Anderson heading out there alongside Finland 3. That looked like Venla Haju. Denmark 2 is Ida Agvik Christiansen. And here's Simona Abersold waiting for her brother. She heads out too. This is Denmark 1 as well. Watch out for Malin Agvik Christiansen as well. As Norway 3 also heading out into the terrain. And that is a massive group from kind of 1 minute to 1 minute 15. There is a huge group of runners there. A group of 8.
Gustafsson on the way to the changeover, lost a lot of time, doing a mistake at control 7. Don't really know what happened, but he turned back after punching it halfway towards control 8.
So the key stats to know: Switzerland in 8th place, 1 minute and 11 seconds down. Sweden in 12th place, 1 minute and 36 seconds down. Keep an eye, of course, on Simona Abersold and on Hannah Lundberg for both of those teams, whether they're able to catch any of that time back. I mean, it feels like the last few sprint relays, Simona Abersold's had to work hard to catch back up the group. She's kind of done so and then lost out on a sprint finish towards the end. She's used so much of that energy getting back into contention in the first place. So we will be looking with interest at this fourth leg then, and we can catch up with them now. Here's Pia Young-Vik of Norway. Remember the changeover with Czechia. They were about, pretty much changed over at exactly the same time. So Norway in the lead, and we've got a little bit of a gap back to Czechia now. Remember,
already.
Yeah, remember Lucy Dietrichkova is the first-year senior, and so a big step up for her into this one. She's such a successful junior, though, at the Junior World Championships. More than capable of taking on this challenge, but as you can see, already lost 24 seconds, and Pia Youngvik is absolutely flying around here, looking super comfortable. And it's been, you know, this Norwegian team is the same team that won the European Championships. They won the World Cup in Switzerland with just one change, Benjaminsen out, Victoria Hestad Bjornstad in, Benjaminsen having a few back injury issues. So, you know, they've got very good recent form, this Norwegian team, and I'd expect that to change. Not a change at all. Here's Maya Sienoya, and she's dropped some time as well. Maybe just a fantastic start from Pia Youngvik.
Sienoya did a small mistake to control 4, not the best option. There would have been a bridge. She could have cut corner a little bit. I think she lost about, let's say, 5-6 seconds there.
So Abersold gone through 1:13, so she's running about the same speed as Pia Youngvik. Haven't seen Sweden 1 through yet. But a clear lead now, 23-second lead for Norway. And Pia Youngvik only has our running camera for company. As we can pick up with them now, our camera runners doing a fantastic job, as always, here in these World Cup to chase our runners, bring you the best coverage as they head around the courses. Here's Czechia at the same points, losing a little bit more time. Just trying to keep calm, do her own thing, just look back behind her, see who is catching. She's still got quite a decent gap, though, to Maya Sienoya of Finland.
And if we look a little bit behind here, we can see it. Finland, Denmark second team. There's Switzerland as well. It's quite a big group. Swedish second team is in there as well in the group. They will approach control 11 very soon. Here we have them. This is Sienoya from Finland.
Yeah, so Sienoya still in third place, but she's been caught up by this big group here, and that includes couple of very fast running athletes, Malin Agve Christiansen and Simona Abersold, 1 and 2 from yesterday's individual race.
Denmark not going on
well.
The quickest route to the next control. Finland and Switzerland have a better choice there.
Yeah, you should, all the runners, whatever forking you've got, whatever gaffle you've got, you should continue straight on there, like pretty much every runner did apart from Denmark. So Malin Egevik Christensen going to lose a little bit of time there, and this is the gap. You can see the different routes. In fact, both the Danes, the two Egevik Christensen sisters, both running the last leg for the top 2 Danish teams. But that gap, the lead of Norway, looks untouchable here, even though she's going not the fastest route, the shortest route there. Here's Hungary to Mara Morosi. Vilma von Krusenfreiner as well. Ooh, just maybe not making exactly a very quick decision on that one. Behind Czechia, though, second place at the moment for Lucy Dietrichkova.
Yeah, both Norway and Czechia not the best or the shortest choice to 14. We have Switzerland and Finland at 13 now. Switzerland going on the shorter one. Finland hesitating, but then also going this one together with Denmark.
So this is Pia Youngvik coming out of control, the control into the arena passage. We're going to get another time check on her as she punches that control and passes in front of the church here. Still looking very good, running a very, very high speed. It's comparable to that of Simona Abersold behind her. And they can have a just check on the gap. So the gap was 29 seconds between first and second place. And here comes Czechia in second. And the gap grown a little bit again, a few more seconds between first and second. But it's all about the team performance here and doing enough to stay ahead of that chasing group. Finland and the others all chasing. In fact, we know that Switzerland and Denmark have both called up Finland now, so there's a massive chasing group, and here comes Simona Abersol. She's in third place. Malin Egevi Christensen, Denmark, in fourth. Maja Sienoja in fifth place. And this is Venla Harju of Finland, 3 into sixth place there. All about a minute down. So actually now Abersold running faster than Pia Young-Vik, and these two runners here, Simona Abersold and Malin Egevi Christensen, 1 and 2 from yesterday's individual sprints. They are absolutely motoring through. And of course, working together as a pack, very impressive from the two of them, bringing their teams back up into contending for a top 3 position.
You can see it here, 11-12 then, quite an interesting route again. I think it's kind of the last one where you really can lose time. We have seen time losses of more than 10 seconds here. If you don't execute it well, the shortest one is to go a bit to the south over the grassy bit in the backyard. See it? Don't follow Norway all the way there.
So going through people's backyards here. And now, just some hesitations there, I think, from Simona Abersold in different routes then here. And that is going to be a time loss there, I think, for Maja Sienoja, because not necessarily, depends where Abersold goes.
You can see it here, Norway is going to lose time here. Czechia as well, but Czechia executes it a bit better. It's going to be interesting to see where we're going to have Switzerland, Denmark and Finland. I think they go on the same option as Czechia. No one on the shortest possible way so far.
No, but when it was exactly like in the men's race yesterday, when nobody takes the optimal route, it kind of doesn't matter anymore, you know? And certainly in this fight here for the medals, then they're all choosing similar routes. This is Finland, then Switzerland, Maja Sienoja and Simona Abersold running side by side here. Malin Egevi Christensen just a bit further back in the all red. And this is for third, fourth and fifth then, these 3 runners.
He told her that's wrong. You're wrong going in here. She was on the way to go into an olive green.
Yeah. And you could tell she was kind of maybe struggling a little bit there.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, because you just got to go into a big wide street.
Direction. Yeah. And I mean, she turned to the right there. She has to go to the left. That was very strange. But it shows a bit that I think she is running really. She was forced to run really fast in order to keep up with Abersold and Sienoja. Maybe losing contact with the map a little bit.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. You're trying to push really hard, kind of over pushing in order to keep up, and then you've not got enough brain space. You're left to make the decisions.
And look, gap between Czechia and the following teams, not very big anymore. Say about 12, 13 seconds. It's interesting that they really use this passage here. I mean, the street is blocked. You could run straight to the control. But you've seen many taking those extra meters.
Yeah, it's quite interesting to see. Yeah, not you know, you think sprint is all about going exactly the straightest way.
Rules.
Maybe we'll see different nations taking it different ways, you know. Some
very Swiss to go around.
Yes. Okay, let's have a quick look at the routes here. Heading towards control number 16. Only a few more controls to go. And the planners said they kind of wanted a fairly easy end of the course. I think they were thinking back to the races in Belgium where Finland got disqualified and there was lots of everyone saying it was quite complicated at the end. They were like, no, we want to make it actually quite simple on the last section. Here's Czechia, though, still in second place, and will they be able to maintain that?
Should be still more than 10 seconds, I guess. Now they're splitting up different routes here. That's going to be interesting. Finland going to the left, Switzerland and Czechia going to the right.
Yeah, and we've got to make sure that Finland's going to get the correct route there. That's what we saw Sanna Fast make a mistake on the first leg. But it is so clear here for Norway, joined by the whole team. Pia Youngvik's just been fantastic on this last leg. And the whole team, they won the European champs, they won the first round of the World Cup, now winning the second round of the World Cup as well, with a big amount of the effort being put in by Kasper Foster on that third leg. Fantastic. And there's a sprint out here for second, third and fourth. Here's Czechia, then we have Finland, and then we have Switzerland. And will Czechia be able to make it across the line in second? Lucy Dechutchkova working super hard. Looking back here as Maja Sienoria is using all of her strength to try and get ahead of Czechia, but she's not going to do so. Czechia just holding on for second. Finland, fantastic work there from Maja Sienoria, giving it everything on the line there. And Abersold out of the medal positions there for Switzerland. And really, for both Finland and for Switzerland, recovering some really kind of tricky mistakes from earlier team members to go and finish there in third and fourth.
Yeah, I mean, interesting that it was quite impressive that Sianoya managed to keep ahead of Abersold. I thought that if you just look at the physicality of the two runners, that there would be an advantage for Abersold, but already at the last loop there, just before the last TV control, you could kind of feel that, okay, Abersold struggles to get close today.
We've had Hannah Lundberg just through their 8th place in the end for Sweden won. She's caught up 20 seconds on the lead on that last leg, but some disasters for Sweden and for Switzerland today. France too across the line in 9th. Here comes Hungary, Rita Mamarosi finishing there in 10th place. Finland, this is Finland 2 coming into the finish here as well. But look, great support there for the youngest member of the team, by far the youngest member of the team there. Lots of support and congratulations to the team from Czechia.
It's really something that we could observe throughout the last sprint relays, that there are more and more nations able to keep up for a longer time, keep in the competition, and different nation now reaching the podium, the top 3. Today we had Czechia was up there, then Finland is up there as well in the fight. We have even the second team from Denmark quite close to the top 3. Sweden, of course, is there. France is not too far behind. In my opinion, sprint relay is developing into a good direction where we have more and more interesting races, and not only the fight between Sweden and Switzerland as we had it a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you. I mean, thinking back to the last couple of years, every single sprint relay has been exciting, has been interesting. You've got a mixture of nations there, you've got teams changing position, you've got mistakes being made, and you've got people, trying to catch up, and it's been dynamic and interesting. And it means, you know, as exactly as you said, we had so many years of saying, oh well, yeah, Sweden and Switzerland are the favourites. What else do we know? And now finally, there's a lot more excitement, and long may it continue. Trying to look back and see about where the most decisive kind of points in this race were. It's kind of different for a lot of the different teams, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, we lost Sweden due to this massive mistake from Jonathan Gustafsson. Finland dropped behind in the beginning together with Switzerland and kind of had to work themselves back up again into the fight for the top three. It was not really a distinct moment where you could say, okay, here did we lose half of the field or anything. It was just, yeah, bad decisions every now and then. I really like the fact that you actually had route choices here where you could lose between 7 to 10 seconds and it was not obvious that you would lose it. I like that because otherwise no one takes it and then it's, yeah, why do you have the route choice from the beginning?
Yeah, it feels to me that third leg is really where everything kind of changed up. You had, Kasper Fosse and Thomas Krivda do fantastic work for Norway and Czechia. They're the top two. Heikila caught up so much time. Abersold lost time there, as did Jonathan Gustafsson for Sweden won. In terms of those big players, it feels like everything kind of got turned on its head during that third leg.
Yeah, but on the other hand, I mean, Switzerland and Finland, they both were in a position already before the third leg where they had to, yeah, they were a bit behind and they had to risk something. They had to do really good races to close the gap again to Norway and Czechia. And I mean, if you have Krivda and Fosser in front, that's almost impossible. Then you force the situation forces Abersold, for example, to take risks and maybe he loses due to bad choices. Then
No, did you see that
from
mistake?
Czechia.
This from Czechia. Well, that will explain why
That's
she
why she
was
lost so much
so way
time.
behind, because they lost about 24 seconds there. Yeah, I mean, if she'd continued, that's a completely dead end. I guess that's the stress of going out second in your, first time being in a Czech one in a senior team.
And you didn't have a lot of time to get used to the map at this point, so it's kind of the first decision you have to take. There was a small mistake there at 4 from Finland. She could have gone over the bridge. She continued. Maybe reading ahead already, kind of missed to turn there.
Yeah, so a lot of these mistakes we kind of weren't able to pick up the first time we looked at them. And obviously Denmark, they're going a little bit further around to this control here.
Even here, it didn't really matter. She didn't lose a lot of time. She kind of lost position from the front of the field to the end of the field, but not that decisive. I think in the end, yeah, I mean, 11-12 is quite an important route. I'm a bit surprised that none of the top teams tried to make a difference there and take another route. I think they were all on this Western option, which was a bit slower. Yeah, I mean, it's, as I mentioned before, it's a bit surprising to me that Sianoja was able to keep up with Agavi Christiansson and Apersold. I would not have expected them beforehand that if they are out in a head-to-head, that she would perform that well. She did a great job here, even though at this point here, all of the teams would have had the chance to kind of get in front, because that was not the best option. And again, here it was not a forking. That's the men's course we see, or this loop here at least. And just before control 13, here in the picture, we could see that there was a small mistake by Agavi Christiansson when she almost turned into a private area. I think she, as I mentioned before, she had to push really hard and then she was in a bad position and lost contact. But I think we're going to have an interview in a couple of seconds with the winners of today's competition.
And I'm here with the winning Norwegian team of today's sprint relay. Congratulations, guys. I'll start with you, Victoria. Secure first leg from you into 5th place, losing some time in the beginning, but still catching up to the end. How was that like for you?
Well, I believe I had to focus on my route choices and my orienteering in the beginning. I took maybe a wrong route choice to the 5th control, but then I caught up focusing on the map and the tricky orienteering, so I believe that was a good choice in the end.
It seemed pretty good. You gave a good position for Eirik, catching up a place on the second leg. What was your thoughts going during your race?
It was pretty stable. Was playing in a good pack with other people, together with some teams. Felt okay physically, and yeah, I took some places into the arena and had a good feeling on the last loop as well. So it was nice to see the front when I changed over to Kasper.
And then it kind of exploded, Kasper, on the third leg. You made a huge gap together with Thomas Krifter from the Czech team. What was your experience of that leg?
Yeah, I tried to not be too aggressive in the beginning and really use the other runners in front to save some energy. And then me and Tomas, we were switching places sometimes, different forkings and different routes, and felt like I had quite a lot of energy left towards the end and could finish in a really good way.
A very huge lead you made of 40 seconds together with the Czech team, which sent you out in a great position, Pia, and already at the first TV control, we saw you had a lead of more than 20 seconds to the Tricheva of Czechia. What was your thoughts and your tactics on the final leg?
Well, I thought that I was going out in quite a good speed. I didn't want the other girls behind to take too much time in the beginning. And I felt the orienteering went good, and then I felt like I had the pace in the end too.
Yeah, you can say you have had. You did a great race. You won a month ago, and today Victoria is running the first leg, and Drine was a month ago. You managed to win either way. What does that say about the strength of the Norwegian team right now?
Well, I believe we have many strong runners, and that's why we can change up the team. This time Andrina had some struggles with her back, but I was very happy to step in.
And of course, winning European champs last year, winning in Locarno a month ago, winning today, you must feel huge favorites for the world champs in just over a month in Italy, Kasper.
Yeah, I would say so. 3 out of 4 in the sprint relay. I think also the Italian terrain is probably something that suits us even better than the last few relays. A bit more hilly, and I think we'll be big favorites there, and then I hope we can use that to our advantage.
Yeah, that's clear. So why do you think, Pia, why do you think Norway's doing so well at sprint relays at the moment?
I think we all have done stable races individually in the relay, in the past relays, and while the other teams maybe have done some mistakes, we have managed to stay calm, and now we have a good self-confidence, I think. So hopefully we will manage to do it once again.
We'll see you in a month in Italy. Congratulations on today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to
Really
Erling
liked her
there for
reaction.
the questions. Yeah, same.
I like the reaction when he said that the terrain will suit them even better.
Yeah, and Pia Youngvik was like, what? What?
Yeah.
This is news to me.
She was surprised
sure.
by that. Yeah.
She really was. She's like, Kasper, what are you on about? It's not the terrain that suits us. I don't know. I think they could win it on anything, but and that's Italian world champs to come could be very, very chaotic with all the little narrow streets and everything. We will wait and see. As you can see now, the final results just ticking through with confirmation of the win then from Norway, who just heard from second place for Czechia and third place for Finland. And again, just great to see so many different teams being up there, being in amongst the mix, with Denmark in 5th place and 7th place as well. Obviously, we had France in 9th. I think we would have had France 1 being right up there as well, and I would expect to see them next time right up there as well. We hope Maëlle Beauvais recovers from her injury, her collision out on her course today. And yeah, loads of teams in the mix. So a fast and furious race, loads of teams in contention, lots of tricky route choice and tricky orienteering around on the course here today. And yeah, I think what I enjoyed was all the different sections, you know, the different types of route choice, that long leg across the grass, the shorter legs and the route choice legs in the city as well. And I think it just gave a thorough test of all of these teams.
And it was very good. It was an entertaining competition, good variation in terrain, and was exciting. I think the whole weekend was quite good. Many good route choices, intense sprint orienteering, and close competitions.
Who's really impressed you today?
I was quite impressed by Maja Sianoja, as I mentioned before, Thomas Heikkilä. I think Finland, when they get a better start, they can be really, really dangerous in the sprint relays. And of course, I mean, Norway, they were strong from the beginning. They're such a great team. Victoria said it in the interview. I mean, you could also have Andrine Benjaminsen in the team, then it would, I don't know if it would be better, but you had have a backup even for one of the runners. On the other hand, I'm a bit disappointed by the Swedish team. I was a bit disappointed by the Swedish team the whole weekend, basically. I mean, the women, they performed well, but the men had struggles with the results in a way that we haven't seen the last years. Yeah, but I mean, it opens up a bit more, and it was entertaining.
Yeah, it was very entertaining seeing those sort of climbs and drops as well. But you mentioned already the Finnish team, and this is the team of Veera Klemetinen, Akseli Ruohola, Thomas Heikkilä, and Maja Sianoja. Maja Sianoja really stepping up this year when it comes to the sprint. She was good in Switzerland as well, and especially the second half of that team. Fantastic performances from them to end up in the third place. We've kind of been saying it throughout the weekend, but it just feels like any day we will get a World Cup win from Thomas Heikkilä. So a third place for Finland. Czechia taking the second place for them, back on the podium again. The Czech team with just an all-round brilliant team performance, but I'd say especially the two men actually on the middle two legs, Jakub Glonek and Thomas Krivda, both kind of pushing ahead. I mean, Janashikova did exactly the job, staying in amongst the pack, and then the other two just kind of really forging ahead, and a fantastic job for the first time in the first senior Czech team for Lucy Tučkova. It was brilliant for her.
And I mean, now she has a chance to gain some experience on last legs. I think she will get better with every competition we're going to see, and Czechia has a very strong sprint relay team.
And of course, the winners, Norway, Victoria Hestad Bjørnstad, Eirik Langendahl Breivik, Kasper Harlem Fossa, and Pia Young-Vik. The quartet, the European champions with the same team, they won the World Cup as well. And now World Cup round 1, now winning World Cup round 2 as well. And, you know, the World Championships in Italy in a month's time would just complete the set. We'll see whether they're able to do it on very, very different terrain, but such a strong team performance from them across all of the legs. But really kind of decisive with that third leg for Kasper Fossa, where alongside Thomas Krivda managing to get a gap on the rest of the field that Pia Young-Vik just maintained. As she said in her interview, she just seemed to really attack that the first part of the race, made sure nobody could catch her, and then just kept nice and cool and calm, didn't make any mistakes on the second part of the course either. You know, she'll have had feedback going through the arena about the gap and can have the confidence just to keep going as well. So that is it from the sprint relay then today. You know, overall this World Cup, what have we learned about how the athletes are doing heading into the World Championships?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a surprise when we look at the results. I would say you can feel that they get better and better in their preparation towards the championships. You could always, when you change then after a forest season into sprint, you notice that, okay, there we have quite many runners doing mistake, and then next competition it's a bit less. And now I think most of the runners have a really good level. And we have tight competitions, even though we still have a couple of runners on a bit higher level. Kasper Foss on the men's side when it comes to the individual sprint, and Simon Abersol the women's side, but they're competitors to them, and I think we can wait for, or we have very interesting world championships ahead of us.
Yeah, those going to be held over in Italy as we just take a little look at the World Cup standings. What are they going to do then between now and Italy to really perfect, just finesse their training?
So now they will, I mean, it's still a couple of weeks, but then about 2 weeks before, you lower the training load and you really want to do the tapering. You want to get in really good shape. I think technically, when it comes to the technique, they have done the work now. It's just looking at old maps, preparing, trying to get the route choices, figure out like set courses in the terrain and stuff like that. But I think most of the work is done by now.
Yeah, they'll have a few more races in between. We've got coming up on the IOF live stream, we've got the Jukkola competition from Finland. That's in a couple of weeks' time. I'll be heading out there to stay up all night and cover those races. That's one key part of the calendar still to look forward to. And then after that, we'll be back with the Sprint World Championships in Genoa in Italy. So that's it from our time here in Sweden, in Skara and Lidköping. We hope you enjoyed 3 fantastic sprint races, and we'll be back with you again soon for the next top elite orienteering from the IOF.
Right.